This drone captured something that shouldn't exist in an abandoned cemetery. Drones are sent up every day to map ruins, inspect damage, and document what time has forgotten. This was supposed to be a routine drone flight over a forgotten graveyard, but sometimes they capture something that was never meant to be there. In an abandoned place where nothing is supposed to move, a camera hovering from above records a presence that doesn't match the landscape or reality. No manipulation, no dramatic music, just raw aerial footage and a shape that shouldn't exist in an abandoned space. This is the recording that made viewers question whether some places are truly empty or simply waiting. Let's begin. Number 20. Midnight Leviathan. At first, it doesn't seem like anything unusual, just a drone hovering over dark water at night. Below, illuminated by the drone's light, a massive shape moves slowly across the surface. The body's long, heavy, reptilian. Ripples expand outward in perfect circles as it cuts through the water. The trees frame the scene from both sides, their leaves glowing under the artificial light, making the contrast even sharper. The creature remains centered, gliding with calm precision. No sudden movements, no panic, just steady motion through the darkness. From above, its silhouette is unmistakably large compared to the surrounding ripples. The footage lasts only seconds, but it's enough to raise questions. Is it simply a large crocodile caught at the right angle? Or something far bigger, moving unnoticed in a place rarely seen from this perspective? For investigators reviewing the clip, the size and the isolation of the location were what stood out most. Number 19. Frozen Apex. It starts as a normal drone setup in a frozen clearing. Snow covers the ground completely. The air looks still. A man adjusts his drone, preparing for takeoff, when the camera captures something already standing in the distance. There, against the white landscape, a massive figure becomes visible. Nearly 3 meters tall, broad shoulders, long arms hanging low. Its body is covered in thick, orange-tinted fur that contrasts sharply with the snow. The image is unusually clear, no heavy blur, no deep shadow concealing the shape. The proportions resemble a giant ape, but its stance feels too upright, too deliberate. It doesn't charge, it doesn't hide. It simply stands there, as if aware of being observed. The scale is what unsettles most viewers. Compared to nearby trees, the figure appears undeniably large. Some suggest misidentification, others question perspective. But the clarity of the footage makes it harder to dismiss outright. By this point, the sense of coincidence begins to thin. Number 18. Forest Colossus. At first glance, it looks like the canopy of a dense green forest. Then the drone tilts slightly, and the scale changes completely. Emerging between the treetops is a massive pale figure, moving forward with slow, deliberate steps. From above, its body appears enormous, dwarfing the surrounding vegetation. The back is broad, the skin looks smooth and light-colored. Large horn-like structures curve outward from its head, and a long tail trails behind. The proportions feel unnatural against the forest. Each step presses through the greenery, as if the terrain offers no resistance. The drone maintains altitude, capturing the creature's full frame from directly overhead. There are no visible handlers, no machinery, no obvious structures nearby. Just uninterrupted forest and this towering deiform presence walking through it. Some viewers believe it could be digital manipulation. Others point to the shadows and depth matching the environment. From here on, the footage becomes harder to ignore. Number 17. Buried Awakening excavation equipment surrounds a deep, freshly carved pit. Archaeologists appear to have uncovered something enormous beneath layers of compacted earth. The drone footage looks straight down into the excavation site, revealing a colossal reptilian head emerging from the soil. Its surface appears textured, ridged, almost fossil-like, yet the shape is disturbingly intact. Long horn-like projections extend from its skull. Its jaw is partially open, exposing rows of sharp, defined teeth. Dust shifts along its snout. A faint plume rises near its mouth, as if air were escaping from below. The scale is overwhelming, Compared to the workers and machinery near the edge of the pit, the head alone seems massive. The body disappears deeper into the earth, still buried. There is no visible animatronic framework, no obvious CGI artifacts from this angle. Just a gigantic dragon-like form uncovered in what was supposed to be a routine dig. At this stage, coincidence gives way to something far more unsettling. Number 16. Submerged Giant. A drone hovers over still, murky water. At first, the surface looks empty, just faint ripples spreading outward in slow circles. Then a long, shadowed form becomes visible beneath the waterline. The body is massive and elongated, stretching far beyond the frame. From above, a ridged spine runs along its back, forming a subtle line that breaks the surface tension. The head leads forward with steady motion, barely disturbing the water. Its movement is controlled, direct, almost effortless. The scale becomes clearer as the ripples widen around it. This is no small animal darting through shallow water. The length alone suggests something far larger than what is typically seen in similar environments. There are no boats nearby, no visible barriers, just open water and this enormous shape traveling beneath it. By now, the pattern is no longer subtle. Number 15. Amazon Titan A drone glides above dense Amazonian canopy. Below, a narrow channel cuts through thick green vegetation. The water appears dark, almost black, until something enormous moves within it. An immense crocodile surges forward, its body forcing white water to explode around it. From above, its length is unmistakable, nearly 8 meters of scaled mass slicing through the river with raw power. The head leads like a battering ram. The ridged back breaks the surface in sections as it advances. Each stroke of its tail sends waves crashing against the riverbanks, bending nearby plants under the force. There are no boats, no humans in sight, just jungle and this colossal predator moving through it as if it owns the channel entirely. The scale is what unsettles most viewers. Compared to the narrow width of the river, the animal dominates the frame. It does not appear rushed, it moves with certainty. At this level, the line between wildlife and legend begins to blur. Number 14. Desert Siren. A drone camera hovers over rocky terrain in Israel. Near the shoreline, something pale shifts against the stone. The figure appears partially humanoid from above, its upper body angled upward, while the lower half blends into the water's edge. The footage is brief, but the shape sparks immediate comparisons. For centuries, cave art across different regions of the world has depicted half-human, half-fish beings. Similar figures have even been reported near areas surrounding the Grand Canyon. In 2011, Animal Planet released a documentary titled Mermaids, the body found, presenting alleged evidence and recorded footage that fueled global debate. That broadcast alone blurred the line between fiction and possibility for many viewers. Here, the drone captures only seconds. No clear facial detail, no definitive movement pattern, just enough ambiguity to ignite speculation. Some call it misinterpretation. Others connect it to long-standing myths repeated across cultures. From this point forward, the familiar explanations begin to feel less stable. Number 13. Urban abyss traffic slows on a city street. Where asphalt once stretched flat and ordinary, a colossal sinkhole now dominates the center of the road. The edges are jagged, raw, as if the ground simply gave way without warning. A drone rises above the scene, revealing the true scale. The hole is immense, plunging deep into darkness. Citizens gather along the rim, standing dangerously close as they peer inside. Cars are stopped mid-lane, no barriers strong enough to contain what opened beneath them. Then the camera angle shifts slightly. Along one interior wall, something vertical appears fixed against the rock. Long, pale, textured. It stretches upward from the darkness below, unmoving, as though embedded into the earth itself. It does not sway. It does not retract. It simply remains there, partially visible against the sheer drop. Authorities labeled the collapse as geological, a natural failure of infrastructure. But the drone footage captures more than just broken pavement. At this point, normal explanations begin to strain under the weight of what's visible. Number 12. Miss Sentinel. A geological expedition had been climbing for 3 days through moss-covered rock formations, surveying mineral traces in a remote region. Before sunrise, dense fog swallowed the peaks. No insects, no wind, no birds. One of their drones detected a solitary shape standing on the highest outcrop. Zooming in, the camera captured a massive black bird, nearly 2 meters tall. Its feathers stood rigid, almost spear-like. It remained completely still, silhouetted against a dim, diffused sun. As the drone moved closer, something unusual became visible. Its plumage appeared wet, dripping, despite no water sources nearby. A gust of wind lifted part of its feathers, exposing rough skin beneath, textured more like a reptile than a bird. Then it raised a claw, 3 elongated fingers, membranous, curved like a bat's wing. The sound it emitted was metallic and deep, echoing across the stone. The local guide whispered a name, the Watcher of the Mist. From here on, retreat no longer feels like an option. Number 11. Horned Wanderer. Heavy rain falls over agricultural fields in Eastern Europe. A drone struggles to maintain stability as wind pushes against it. Below, rows of crops ripple under the storm. Then a tall silhouette becomes visible between the planted lines. The figure is unmistakably humanoid in posture, broad, upright, moving slowly with deliberate steps. From its head extend long, curved horns that remain clearly defined even through the rainfall. Witnesses on site reportedly shouted, trying to get a reaction. The drone descends slightly, its buzzing audible in the footage. The figure does not look up, it does not accelerate. It continues forward at the same steady pace. Its surface appears dark and wet, almost blending with the soaked field. No visible clothing, no tools. Just a horned shape advancing through cultivated land. Then, as fog thickens under the storm, the silhouette fades. No sprint, no collapse. It simply vanishes into low visibility. At this point, the tension stops building and starts pressing inward. Number 10. Sultan Apparition. Sultan Sea, California. A natural reserve closed since 1996. A group of paranormal photographers entered the southern edge of the lake after online reports claimed something was walking over the water. Thick fog covered the shoreline. No insects, no frogs, no ambient movement. Through the mist, a hunched figure appeared, more than 2 meters tall. It moved across the shallow, muddy surface without fully sinking. From its back hung deteriorated, wing-like shapes, sagging as if soaked. Its torso looked thin, almost human in proportion, but its gait resembled a wounded wading bird. The drone captured a partial turn of its head. The face appeared smooth, no visible eyes, no mouth, only dark recesses where features should have been. It slowly extended its arms. The structures attached resembled dry feathers fused with elongated finger-like forms. Then a sharp metallic screech cut through the silence. Immediately after, the drone feed destabilized. From this point on, there is no safe distance left. Number 9. Bion emergence, Bion coast, Gulf of Biscay, France. The tugboat André IV was conducting a routine inspection near the rusted hull of a cargo ship, abandoned since 2009. The sea was unusually calm. Charts labeled the area a dead zone, citing heavy metal accumulation and scarce marine life. As a crew member deployed an underwater drone, something brushed lightly against the cargo ship's side. At first, they assumed it was floating debris, then it moved upward. The drone captured a gelatinous mass rising slowly, gripping the hull with thick, flexible limbs. Its skin appeared mottled and dense, patterned with circular markings resembling scars or pressure imprints from the seafloor. Its head was asymmetrical, one eye sealed shut, the other reduced, recessed. Extending from its forehead was a curved appendage, ending in a glowing green bulb, visibly luminescent, even in daylight. It did not thrash. It did not flee. It remained upright against the metal surface. Moments later, onboard sensors recorded a sudden 5-degree drop in surrounding water temperature. By now, the ocean no longer feels predictable. Number 8. Silent beneath clear turquoise water. A small cruise vessel moves steadily across the surface. From above, the drone captures what appears to be an ordinary maritime scene. Sunlight reflects off the wake. The boat continues forward, without hesitation. Then beneath the hull, something immense becomes visible. A colossal shadow stretches across the seabed. Thick, elongated limbs radiate outward from a central mass far larger than the vessel above. One eye, enormous and pale, is faintly distinguishable within the murk, tracking the boat's movement. The scale is staggering. The creature's body spans far beyond the boat's length, its form partially obscured by depth and refraction. Yet the proportions are undeniable. The cruise continues unaware. No alarms, no deviation in course. From this height, the drone shows the unsettling contrast. Fragile human structure above, vast unknown presence below. At this stage, the margin between observation and vulnerability grows thin. Number 7. Unseen below. A drone hovers above a calm stretch of open water. A white yacht rests almost motionless. On the bow, a woman sits casually at the edge, her feet dangling just above the surface. The scene feels peaceful, controlled, ordinary. Then the camera angle reveals what lies beneath. Directly under the hull, a massive marine shape drifts silently. Its body is broad, pale, and elongated, easily rivaling the length of the yacht. Faint outlines of fins and a powerful torso become visible through the dark water. The scale is immediate and unsettling. The woman remains unaware. No sudden movement, no shadow crossing the deck. The creature maintains depth, gliding slowly under the vessel without disturbing the surface. From above, the contrast is stark. Vulnerability resting inches above something colossal. At this level, distance no longer guarantees safety. Number 6. Open ocean spines. Far from shore, gray waves roll under a heavy sky. A drone flies low over restless water, visibility reduced by mist. At first, only white caps and shifting swells fill the frame. Then something darker rises between the waves. Jagged, towering spines break the surface. They are not debris, not rock formations. The shapes move with the rhythm of the sea, but maintain structure. Multiple sharp projections aligned along a submerged mass far larger than what is visible. As the drone adjusts its position, more of the formation becomes clear. The spines angle backward, cutting through the water, as if attached to a colossal body traveling just below the surface. No vessels appear nearby, no buoys, just open ocean, and this immense silhouette pressing upward from beneath. The sea continues to churn around it, but the structure remains intact, purposeful. At this stage, the scale stops being impressive and becomes overwhelming. Number 5. Coastal anomaly. Near a rocky stretch of coastline in California, a drone scans the shallow water. From above, the surface appears muted and gray. Waves barely move. Along the rocks, something pale shifts just beneath the waterline. The shape resembles a slender upper body angled upward. The lower half fades into the murk, elongated and tapering in a way that suggests a tail rather than legs. The figure remains close to the shoreline, partially obscured by water distortion. It does not thrash. It does not swim away. It hovers near the rocks as if resting. From the drone's height, proportions seem almost human at first glance. But the continuity of the lower form challenges that assumption. No swimmers are visible, no diving equipment, no obvious explanation from this distance. By now, the idea of coincidence feels increasingly fragile. Number 4. Rust platform entity inactive oil platform, southern coast of Louisiana. The ocean drone Pelican 14 had lost contact with its submersible after entering a restricted zone near a rusted structure abandoned in 2003. 2 team members climbed the platform to inspect manually. GPS readings fluctuated during the ascent, briefly displaying negative altitude values. On deck, they noticed fresh moisture, not rainfall, condensation mixed with salt. A metallic impact echoed beneath the scaffolding. Elijah launched a drone. What emerged did not swim. It climbed. The creature pulled itself onto the corroded steel using elongated, tense limbs. Its skin was covered in pale nodules, resembling attached shells. Deep lacerations across its back leaked a dark, viscous substance. Fragments of rope and decayed fishing net hung from its body. A rusted bracelet remained caught in the debris. When it raised its head, thin filament-like strands dangled from its face. No visible eyes, only deep, recessed grooves. A low vibration followed, strong enough to rattle the platform's supports. Electronics failed moments later. At this level, the return point disappears. Number 3. Thermal Pursuit Night Vision switches to thermal imaging. From above, two bright human silhouettes move between tall trees. Their heat signatures are clear against the darker forest floor. They appear to be walking quickly. Then a third figure enters the frame, larger, brighter, moving faster. Its thermal outline is elongated, with extended limbs that swing in exaggerated motion. The gait does not match a typical human stride. It advances diagonally, closing distance with unnatural efficiency. The drone's crosshair stabilizes at the center of the screen as the third figure accelerates. The two individuals shift direction, their signatures flickering between tree trunks. The pursuing shape maintains speed. No visible equipment, no clear clothing differentiation. Just a high-temperature mass tracking them through dense woodland. There is no audible dialogue in the clip, only movement. At this point, escape feels theoretical. Number 2. Knudmose, aberration, Knudmose Forest, northern border of Denmark. A thermal monitoring drone detected unusual movement near a fog line in a restricted woodland area. Rangers initially suspected out-of-season moose migration. When patrol units approached, the forest floor was damp, layered with red leaves and broken branches. The silence was almost absolute. Then it stepped forward. The creature had 4 robust legs and a thick wool-like body. But its head did not resemble any known animal. Instead, a distorted face emerged between moss-covered trunks, a rigid, bone-like beak fused with damp folds of skin. From its back extended 2 twisted horns. Along its sides, membranous wings spread outward, bat-like and heavy, appearing incapable of flight. The air carried a sharp, metallic scent. Devices began to flicker. A ranger raised his phone. The creature turned slowly. No aggression, no retreat. Moments later, every electronic signal collapsed. When power returned, the fog had thickened. The entity was gone. What comes next leaves no room for doubt. Number 1. Cemetery Standoff Daylight, an abandoned cemetery viewed from above. The drone captures a wide aerial frame of dry ground scattered with tombstones and small mausoleum structures. The sun is high, shadows are short, everything appears still. Then the figures become clear. Across the cemetery grounds, multiple skeletons are positioned in pairs. Each one holds a sword. Some raise shields. Others are mid-swing, blades crossed as if locked in combat. The formations are spread evenly across the terrain. No visible humans nearby. No visible support structures, holding them upright. The scene resembles a frozen battlefield set among graves. From this height, the symmetry is unmistakable. 10 pairs appear engaged in one-on-one clashes. Some stand separated from others. A few lean forward, as if pressing an attack. The frame lasts only moments. No visible motion in this fragment. Just skeletons posed in confrontation under a clear sky. There is no escalation left.